Ali, L, and his current Christians in Cameroon today, the day Jesus Christ, the event of and plan for salvation, accused of trafficking human kidneys. According to a report by German media organizations, the clinic has for years been exploiting Kenyans, selling them to rich patients in Europe and elsewhere for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Those were our headlines. Stay tuned for developments in a jiffy. Welcome to Cross to and Plan.
Matthew chapter 16. The Christians of St. Michael the Archangel Parish, Eke, reenacted the way of the cross in memory of the suffering and death of the cross in memory of the suffering and death of their Savior Jesus Christ.
On Good Friday, we don't eat meat on children.
And praying for God's mercy and compassion and for the conversion of sinners. Of the cross as a sign of Jesus' victory for the salvation.
To live imprisonment by a military concerns among certain circles. Here's Sharif Asali.
Regions was handed down on April 16, 2025 by a panel of 3 military judges. Ali was tried and convicted in the town of Bamenda in the northwest region of Cameroon and transferred to Yaoundé. Despite being a civil server, say violates both Cameroonian law and international human rights standards. In May 2024, Ali formally renounced the authority of the military court, asserting his identity as a Southern Cameroonian and Amazonian citizen. In his written declaration, legitimacy of the proceedings. Ali's case has been emblematic of the systemic repression faced by Amazonian prisoners of conscience. Following his 2022 arrests, he was held in prison where he remains. Human rights organizations, including Amnesty International and Frontline Defenders, have repeatedly condemned his detention. That his peaceful advocacy and public criticisms of the military's role in the Anglophone conflict are the real reasons behind his continued imprisonment. The life sentence has intensified concerns over Cameroon's handling of the Anglophone crisis, where calls for greater autonomy or independence from the Francophone-dominated government have been met with force. Dozens of activists, journalists, and guarantees. As Ali's legal counsel explores potential avenues for appeal and international recourse, the case stands as a stark reminder in its Anglophone region.
Almost on a daily basis. Now they're getting concerned and jittery, and that's because of new ceiling rates and red tape at the level of conventions, especially for importers and exporters, as you tell us, Gladys Ambondibang.
Whether importers or individuals, the current system of international money transfer is leaving them frustrated. At the heart of the discontent, stringent banking controls and transfer rate limits, which many find too restrictive.
Except the agency transfer rates are much higher. Banks, on the other hand, require too many formalities into a month. But through banks, when you justify the purpose, you can send up to 5 or even 10 million. But how can an importer operate effectively with a 1 million facility?
The limitations have forced many to resort to informal methods in order to move larger sums.
I have never encountered such a thing like that. Yeah, I have been sending a lot of money outside. I load big containers.
Because the transfer limit is 1 million at these agencies, we are often forced to ask friends or family to help us send the rest when the amount exceeds the limit. It's the same for the person receiving the funds. They also need to find others to help receive the excess. That's how we manage.
However, not everyone is affected the same way. Mr. Ngunu, also an importer, says he has never faced any such challenges whilst carrying out his transactions.
I have never encountered such a thing like that. Yeah, I have been sending a lot of money outside. I load big containers. there is a lot of control. So I think for you to transfer or to do international transfer, you need to have documents, because all the banks present in Cameroon, they are under serious control.
As authorities continue to tighten financial regulations to combat fraud and money laundering, clients are calling for more flexible procedures that can accommodate legitimate business activities, particularly for those who depend on international trade for their livelihoods.
And despite those frustrations expressed there on transaction limits, as well as ensuing operational difficulties, economic and once again.
Imposed by the Central African Banking Commission, COBAC, as part of restrictions, analysts say are aimed at combating money laundering, the financing of terrorism, and curbing capital flights, issues that are seen as critical threats to the economies of Cameroon.
Maybe to be economic growth drivers. So
the central bank also plays a crucial role in maintaining a healthy balance of payments, which tracks the flow of money in and out of the country. Experts argue that regulating these flows is essential to stabilizing local currency.
The central bank has to regulate what you call the balance of payment. Our balance of payment account has to be regulated. When we talk about balance of payment, we're talking about the importation and exportation. When we export as a nation, what happens is we're going to receive payments. We're going to receive payments for the goods and services that we've sent out. But conversely, when we import, we are going to pay. And when we pay more, our currency begins to get weakened. So there must be checks and balances to encourage local production and local consumption in order for our currency to remain at least at a certain level in terms of exchange rate.
Analysts warn that without strict financial oversight, the risks of terrorist financing increases significantly.
Now, Bengui is the chief town of the Momo division in Cameroon's northwest region. The locality over the years has known its own share of underdevelopment. That's a trend that might be reversed very soon as natives begin engaging community infrastructure development projects. As you tell us, Sherry Fasale with calls from Annie Collins Annie in Bamenda.
If it is true that Momo Division is one of the enclaved administrative units in the Northwest region, it is surprising that the same holds for Bengui Central Subdivision. We are right in the heart of the town. Some quarters are not linked by motorable bridges. Having noticed the gap by the horns, they are offering the Tongkop Bridge to link up Tongbat and Jim Mocho quarters to the rest of Mbengui. Persons whose land and crops have been expropriated shall also be attended to.
Maybe it was during survey and we could not divert the road because of a plan or a palm tree. We have to do all what we have done in order to give a kind of honor because we have a lot of money. We do it because it's a calling and we have a special passion in what we do.
In trucks, because if the roads were not there and the bridge is not there, the trucks cannot go. So we in the village, we use trucks to carry our things to the market center.
A bridge being a public utility, the administration...
I want to see example, man line.
Bridge destroys the communication of all. Foster development. We should all support development.
The vehicle gifted to the fund of Wumembok by the Ndan couple is one of those anxiously waiting to be the first to ply the Tongkop Bridge upon completion.
It revealed that the clinic known as Mediheal was exploiting young Kenyans desperate for money. Mediheal are allegedly hundreds of thousands ministry on that story.